Welcome to practice in Australian, and here we are, sector 3 on lap 4 on the hard tyres. If you know my practice strategy, I do the practice programs, which includes tyre management, fuel management and ERS management on the hard tyres. Obviously no points are actually acquired, but I just do them to get used to the tyres and the circuit and the car. Little bit of a snap in the final corner, and we go P2 with that lap. As Mark said, little bit cut of turn 1, a little snap, saved it, a little snap again, but we did save it. And we continue on our way with only a 2-second loss to a personal best. Quite a good save. Not as good as Austin though. That was my best. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. First off is practice, but I don't show you any of that. Actually, yes I do. I've just shown you a clip from it. Almost forgot my own video. Anyway, next up is qualifying. In qualifying 1 started out okay. We were a little bit slow on the first lap. Our only lap in Q1. And it resulted in Verstappen being 63 milliseconds behind us after the first run. We did have a purple sector 1. However, in sector 2 and sector 3, we were just slowing in Verstappen, and he had the purple sectors. It's fine though, because as you see, we got through in P3, George in P... sorry, I'm George. I'm Bobbi, but I'm also George. Confusion. Max got P1 and Lewis got P2, improving their times. None worthy of noting got knocked out in Q1, so we go straight to Q2. A little bit better in the performance side of things. We took purple sector 1 and sector 3. My Fitbit is just fallen from the side of my bed whilst I've got it on charge. And Science took second place, just under 5 tenths behind us. Our championship rivals, our championship rival Verstappen took the fastest middle sector, but it wasn't enough, and he was 9 tenths behind us. At the end of the session, we maintained our gap to Sainz as he did not improve. Neither did Norris or Leclerc, and a couple others improved their lap times. Most notably, Hamilton and Verstappen improved on their lap times, making them get through to Q3. And Perez getting knocked out in P14, while Sainz got through in P2. Qualifying 3, I'm a little bit behind here. Didn't quite have all the purple sectors. We were a little bit slower this time. Only 2 tenths gap to Norris. However, the rain is coming later in the session, and so it didn't matter that we only got sector 1 purple. Norris took sector 2 purple, and Verstappen took sector 3 purple. Lewis took 6th place, whilst Charles was in 7th place, and Max in 3rd place. And that's how the session ended. The rain came, no one improved, and we took pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. Championship rivals, well, they're still expected championship rivals at the moment because they're nowhere near us in the points. Verstappen 3rd, Lewis 6th, and Charles 7th. And the teammates of respected that are in Q3 still is obviously me, P1, and Carlos, P4. So it's looking good for the championship. Let's bring it home with a Grand Prix win. Let's go.
Hello and welcome from Melbourne, a track modified since we last raced here in Albert Park, and I think with the changes, it's going to be a classic. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Guan Yu Zhou, and Hamilton. Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, and Kevin Magnussen. Ocon, Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, and Perez. Albon, Stroll, Valtteri Bottas, and Mick Schumacher. Tsunoda and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And a warm welcome, of course, to my co-commentator here today. It's Natalie Pinkham. Should we kick off our conversation with George Russell?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? So we're in for an exciting start, I'm sure, and then they'll all settle down a bit, try and find a rhythm as they plan the next phase of the Grand Prix. It's important to know when to push and when to hold back so as not to overcook those tyres early on.
Welcome to the grid of the Australian Grand Prix.
Know what you can do. Don't let me down.
What I'm watching is a little bit behind, so I've just cut off Mark massively. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix, and changing strategy a little bit, see if we can get as much as we can on the projected time. Looking about 8 tenths to be the max we can get, and we're going to settle for that. See if we can change the alternate strategy to accommodate the original strategy, but with higher tyre wear. Hard medium. Do we really want to do that anyway? We're going to have a look at it. 2.5, 2.6. It's 8 seconds slower though. So we kind of want to get a 10, minus 10. Medium, hard. Let's see what that does. Medium, soft. No, medium, hard. Seems to be no gains in that, just losing time. Yeah, so we're not going to do medium, hard, that's for certain. Yeah. Not getting any closer than 1.5. Yeah, so soft, medium it looks like. No rain on the weather forecast. Let's reset this one. Soft, hard, let's see if we can do anything there. There's 2 second gain, 2.5, 2.6. Yeah, it's not ideal. But hey ho. It's not like we've got anything to lose. We're at the front. We're much quicker than these guys, and we should be good. Fuel, I think it was good in the practice program that I made myself. No, it wasn't. It was a little bit poor. So we've got an extra 0.58. Well, as close as we can. A little bit over 0.58 extra laps. 0.01 for every lap in the race. And that'll be good for us. I see nothing wrong with the strategy we've got. Haven't checked the strategy of the other guys yet. Hopefully I do that before the beginning of the race. Getting close to the end of this clip, and it looks like I won't. Nope, just did. Softs for everyone. Interesting. All doing 2 stops. Soft, medium. Let's go. Right. Australian Grand Prix. Let's get underway. Five lights out and away we go. We just got a terrible start. Max and Lando got us, and then Carlos got us as well. Had to leave space on the inside for Zhou. who quickly got dispatched by Hamilton. And so we then had to chase after Ferrari, Red Bull and McLaren. We did get a green grid slot, so that didn't help. And if we got a purple, we probably could have stayed ahead of Carlos. Wasn't much of a chance though. I just got wheel spin was a little bit too much. But heading into turn 11, dive down the inside of Carlos and put ourselves back into P3, and now able to chase after Verstappen. We were fastest in sector 1 and it was quite on the edge in sector 3, so if we made a move in sector 3 we could use sector 1 to catch up and then hopefully just stay with in sector 1. That's sector 2. On board. Yeah, there's actually no chance of staying with Carlos. There's no way I was making that 3 wide into turn 1. So yeah, Lando being second, just got a great start, pulled away, got into first. Verstappen in third, had to go around my outside, and so in turn 1 he had a better line, leaving Carlos, who came from fourth, with the worst line on the inside of Verstappen. I know. Okay, wait. This is on the Saturday, the 15th. And yesterday I did the recording for episode 76. I know I said I hate Australia 10, 9, 10, but we got a good run through it and we were able to get alongside Carlos. Within the brake zone, yes, but I was from the cockpit I was close enough that I could warrant a dive bomb. And then we went and chased after Max, but we didn't quite get the move till sector 3. We did have a look heading into turn 11, but nothing really could be done because Max had DRS. We forced him to the inside, tried to see if we could spook him a little bit, but not enough to get a good switch back, and so we had to wait behind a little bit more. But we had forced him out of DRS from Lando, so heading towards turn 1 and turn 3 he would have no DRS at all. So we flicked it open, pulled towards the inside, he forced us a little bit more, we try and stay towards the middle, brake, he braked a little bit later, give him enough space that he can stay on the circuit, he decides not to, and we just get past him and we allow him to fight with Carlos. When fighting with Carlos, he looked like he was going to go a dive on me, but so we gave him the space, don't matter. Got up into first, and now we could chase after Lando, who is now 2 seconds away. So Verstappen, that's enough space for him. Ooh, maybe not quite so there. Here. Oh no, but it is fine. So yeah, we just went and chased after Lando now. I've missed something from lap 1. Esteban Ocon. Contact with someone. That could be it. I always see who and what the warning is. I never see, if it's a collision warning, who with. I never see that. Well, I'm assuming it's that little bit of contact at the beginning. Lap 4 we had track limits. Our first one of the race. And at my most favourite corner to track limit. It's so weird because sometimes I'll extend, sometimes I won't. That's very close. That is oh so close. So close, I wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere else. Nope, it wasn't. It was that. Okay, Lando Norris. Nope. We got close to him in Sector 2 that we could utilise the DRS. Oh, Sector 2 begin. No, it would be the end of Sector 3 beginning. We got close enough that a good run meant that we stayed on the back of him, and we were even closing before the DRS line. Pulled towards the outside, he moves to defend, we look to the inside and then pull back over to the outside, let him go deep, pull right, and amazing switchback. Still on the outside at turn 16 for turn 12. He tried to go around the outside of turn 13, but we got the position and put ourselves back into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. Let's see if we can keep it this time. Wrong way. Yeah, let's go on board with Lando. You can see it a lot better. So you can see me in the mirrors, 2.5 tenths, and then 2 tenths coming across the DRS line. I pull to the outside, pull to the inside, pull to the outside again. Lando wobbles, goes deep. We pull the switch back, as you can see through the mirrors. Go round. He just doesn't have enough speed to go around the outside of turn 12. I make a little bit early for turn 13, allows Lando to look around the outside, but there is no chance if you want to be picky about my grammar. And we got ourselves up into P1. Lap 7. Second track limits. Not at turn 5. This was the popular one. Yeah, that is just over. Just. Surprisingly, I didn't cut turn 12 a lot in the race. I did in practice. Get myself rear wing damage after a spin into the wall. But after that, we just didn't do anything wrong through turn 12 really. Lap 8 we got our first penalty. See how obvious it is from the bird's eye view. Oh yeah. Even from here you can tell that I almost cut the white line. even if the white line was the circuit. But no, it's the yellow line. Which confused me last season when I was looking at the track limits, I think. Because I couldn't tell if I track limited turn 4. I don't think I did that this race. We'll have to wait and see to find that out. Lap 10. Well, I guess we should really go on lap 8, because that's when Mark decided to offer a strategy change to pit lap 10. Denied it, and stayed on track for strategy change to lap 13. Bahrain scarring me. And what do you know? 4 track limits, and this one turned lap 10, turn 5. Not really a surprise. And we move. What's that now? That's lap 4 was there, lap 7 was there, lap 10 was there. Weren't it? Yeah, lap 8. No, lap 7 was here. Lap 4, 8 and 10 were them. Lap 11, we need to go to Nicholas Latifi. Hamilton's already boxed, that's why he's down here. Oh, what's he done? Never mind. I thought he crashed into Lando. No, his engine would have blown up or something, I think. No, no. His engine didn't blow up. Because I can go on to the next laps. Okay. Yeah, Sauce didn't last long. Everyone had to pit early. He probably hit Lando. Yeah, go on board. With Lando because he's behind. Obviously, the TV being so slow. And oh, Lewis trying to make a move. They all lock up, and he makes contact with Lewis. Wow. Okay. AI do not know how to brake. Does he hit Lando? He hits Lando and Hamilton. Does he hit I wouldn't be surprised if he hit Max. But the warning is for one of them. I believe it'd be Hamilton because that was a harder hit. But wow, Latifi, that's why this is your last season. Last season I'm going to be playing against you. Although I've never been playing against you. Lap 11, Hamilton. Okay, so contact warnings for each other. Lap 12. Are you going to be surprised? It's a 5th limit. You know, if they had real life penalties, I'd be much more willing to stay on the circuit. 5-second penalties after for every warning, for every track limit after your 4th one, after your 3rd one. I'd be a lot more willing to not extend. So what this is our 5th. So real life this would be 10-second penalty already. Yeah, I wish it was like that. I wouldn't extend so much. Yuki Tsunoda. Where are you? You're at the back. What you done? Oh, you retired. How do I know? Because I tried to go on to lap 13 for Tsunoda, but didn't work. And you probably saw the cloud of smoke from his rear of the car before I set ourselves back to the beginning of the lap. So yeah, I'm trying to make these shorter, and it's 15 minutes already and we're still in the first quarter of the race. Pulls over. Why didn't you just pull over there? What? Why have you pulled over to pull on to pull over? Okay. Oh, that's another out the race. Lap 18, Max Verstappen. No, lap 13, my box. So, as you would have seen, softs to mediums on lap 13 and lap 35. There's Sonoda. No slow laps in the first stint, because the target didn't come until lap 6, which was after the battles with Norris and Verstappen and the overtake on Carlos. So that was that. Carlos, mega overcut. Didn't pit until after all the traffic had went. So neither did we. We came into the box lap 13. I'm pretty sure it was to come into the pits on lap 35 later. Yes, it was, because that's halfway between now and the end of the race. Purple turned in, good release, and back out into the race on medium tyres in first place. The gap to Carlos, 9 seconds, 6 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 4, 3. It is coming down. We'll say about 2.5 seconds, but that's going to come down until my tyres come up to temperature. So yeah, I am trying to work out if lap 35 was the middle. 45 plus 20. Yeah, it was. Okay. Now we can go on to lap 18 for Max Verstappen. What happened to you, Max? Well, if I'm not wrong, you have retired from the Grand Prix. The clouds did come over. No rain was forecast, so it was just a little bit overcast. No rain to fall at all at the moment. Does that mean rain's going to fall later in the race? No, it means that rain's going to fall later in Australia. How do I know that? Because when I say later, I mean from any time now to the end of the world. You can't be wrong whenever you say that, and you can't be wrong when you say Max has retired from the Grand Prix, because he has. Out of race years, and this championship is not gone well at all. Not even a podium at the moment. I'd say this is a worse start than my Championship 59 campaign when I was with Williams. Yeah, because I retired from Bahrain, I retired from Saudi, and Australia was a podium. Yeah, it was worse. Max's campaign is worse than this. That. Lap 19. 6th warning, meaning a second penalty. I'm going straight to turn 5, because that's where I should be. 5 warnings at turn 5. And there's Max. I lifted off. How did I not get a slow lap? I must have been pushing enough in the rest of the lap that it didn't go over 1 second. Anyway, lap 23 is next. For, guess what? A 7th warning. Not even halfway through the race. And we're at 20 minutes already, and 7 warnings. 6 at that corner. So technically 2 penalties at 1 corner in this race so far. The other one being turn 7. Lonely. I did cut a lot in practice though, so I guess I'm making up for it by going elsewhere. Lap 29. The last lap before chaos broke loose. An 8th warning. I knew I was extending here. I just didn't slow down. It's always a cut. It's always a hit and miss here. You either hit the apex and I go completely over it, like my wheel's in the grass, and I don't extend, or I completely miss the curb and I extend here. It's literally a lottery with me because I can't control myself enough to not go wide, apparently. I need to stop that before we get to higher categories, championships, because otherwise I'm not going to win the race. In the moment we have 6 seconds of penalties and Lando is 2.6 seconds away from winning the race. However, lap 30 it all went to pot as Lando came out the pits and Pierre Gasly chose violence. What happened to Charles? Charles came out of the box. Charles retired as what? What happened to Charles? Tell me what happened to Charles. I don't know. Anyway. Completely Gasly's fault. No regard for Norris whatsoever. Why is his right? Why is his right? Okay. When hit from behind and your front wing comes off, I can understand that, Cody's. But this, no. That's going to be the thumbnail. Maybe, possibly. What happened to Charles? Why has Charles got on the race director for lap 30? Don't tell me he track extended. AI don't do that. So yeah, he's just come out of the pits. I obviously took the initiative and came into the pits. Why has Charles got a warning? No idea. I'll check that later. So we came into the pits at the end of this lap because obviously 5 laps away from pitting when we normally would have. And my controller battery's low. Whoops. 5 laps away from pitting when we normally would. So the safety car is going to be about what? 2-3 laps. Well, I don't know. Safety car came in lap 32. So we're only 3 laps longer of a stint. Not much. When it comes to the mediums, would I have preferred it with the softs? I don't know. Did I prefer the strategy choice over Bahrain? Yes, of course I did. This one was completely weird. Right, there's an orange turn in because instead of pressing the pit limiter, I pressed the overtake button, which if you don't change the buttons, as you should know, is also the special button, which is the button you use to turn into the pit lane. So I accidentally pressed overtake into the pit limiter, turned on overtake, and because of Merc being so close to the entry of the pit lane, the pop-up for me to turn in came up before I pressed the button. So I came in and pressed the button. Well, I came in, braking, the pop-up came up, I pressed the overtake button instead of the pit limiter, so it pressed the special button, so it turned me in, so I got an orange turn in, and it was a slow stop. Yeah, it's the first time I've actually pressed the wrong button and got an orange turn in. My brother does inform me that you can turn in yourself, but you have to turn in a lot. Really? I doubt it. Team at Magic tried that a lot at the beginning of the game, so I highly doubt it. Anyway, we've just spent a whole sector at safety car. So obviously there's me weaving. I know that the safety car is going to come in this lap because, well, the entire field is here. And on my pit we rejoined position. It came up 16th last lap, so it's going to come up with safety car, pit, and at the end of this lap, come in at the end of this lap, right about now. So I just start backing everyone up, and we can get racing once again in Australia. This time I limit myself to 60 miles per hour. This is what I normally limit myself to. Would it be best to limit myself to the pit lane? No, because my tyres are gonna freeze at 70 degrees Celsius. But no, you want them at 90 degrees Celsius, and obviously I can't get that with the stupid limiting. I don't know why that exists. I'm pretty sure that it got introduced in the middle of this game. I don't know why it exists. It's stupid. I can't heat up my tyres. I mean, you can't do that anyway. It's quite hard to do that under safety car, especially when you've just boxed for new tyres. Anyway, we got a good restart. Had Science covered, although he has now just gone to the back of us again, heading into turn 3. But it'll be fine, and we can live the rest of our race in clean air, whilst trying to get a 6-second gap in the last 26 laps. Yes, don't forget I have that 6-second penalty, and I am 1 warning away from a 3rd penalty. Oh, would you look at that? A 9th warning. What do you have to say for yourself? Stupid blue visor, I can't see his face. I wish you could actually have tinted visors, and it actually tints the screen. That'd be so cool. You just have like a blue visor and the screen just is blue for the race. That'd be so cool. I mean, obviously I can just put a blue sheet over my screen, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather the game do that for me. So yeah, 9-second penalty. We now need to gain a further 2.4. However, Ricardo had other ideas. Yellow flags ahead. Oh, Magnussen had a... No, it was Ricardo. But we've got to go Magnussen first, because he retired from the Grand Prix. 5 retirements in total. You can kind of see him pulling over, but I wonder if that's just trying to have a look at overtaking Ocon. But there's no point to it, because there's the yellow flags and there's the engine smoke. Almost got hit by Joe. And so he's going to pull over like he did with Verstappen, like Verstappen did, but Ricciardo's just going to hit him. What an idiot. Seriously. You have just ruined my race. A safety car with 11 full laps to go. We're probably going to have 9 laps of racing, and I've got to build up 9 seconds. 12 if I get another 3 warnings. Which isn't unlikely. He just goes into the back of him. What are you doing? The AI need to be sorted out. Although it is quite funny how I haven't had a proper safety car caused by AI in what? 4? I don't know. There's no point me trying to find out how long. I haven't had the last time I had a safety car before this season was Austria, and that was kind of caused by me because I pit and Schumacher and Latifi don't know how to drive once they've just been lapped and the car that's lapping them is going into the pit lane. So that was kind of caused by me. I don't remember the last time before that where I had a safety car. I will check, but I don't remember. And I've had 2 in this race and 2 in Bahrain. What's going on? I know I've put it on increase, but that's because I barely get any safety car. And I will admit, as soon as I saw a safety car symbols, I did drop an F-bomb. Because I knew that I was going to have a mountain to climb to win this race. Especially since I had just built the 9 seconds to Sainz. And that's all the race director knows. So there's the safety car. There's me trying to warm up my tyres a little bit differently. It kind of worked. It stayed between 80 and 81 degrees everywhere, so it wasn't too bad. And on the 48th lap, with 9 full laps to go, safety car pulled in to the pits. This time we went a little bit quicker to try and maintain a little bit more temperature because I wanted to win this race, and so I needed all the speed I could get to get 9 seconds in 9 laps. I've just given away that I don't get a 4th penalty because I said that's all the race director knows. Instance. Anyway, yeah, okay, well, now you know I need to build up a 9 seconds gap in 9 laps. Will I be able to do it? I have to go a second quicker than the AI every lap. Yay. So, to try and keep temperatures and get a better run, I made myself stay at 80 miles per hour for this restart. 20 miles per hour quicker than the previous restart. So, I don't think it makes much difference. Sainz is further back on this restart. So whether I call him out, I don't know. I think that's, to be honest, just tyre wear. So, yeah. Well, after 1 lap we have 1 second, so that's good. 2 laps 2 seconds. 3 laps 3 seconds. 4 laps 3.8. 5 laps 5.4, because these two have just gained me 1.6 seconds, because Vettel is the GOAT. Thank you, Sebastian, because he did this. A move down the outside. Put Sainz off a little bit. Having a look in turn 1, nothing doing there. How about the main DRS straight? So what's this now? This is the 6th lap. So if we want any chance of winning, we've got to have 6 seconds by the end of this lap. And that was helped by Sebastian making a dive bomb down the inside, slowing them both down to 6.3 seconds now. 6.9 by the end of that, so we've got a second more than we need. And then on lap 55, 9 seconds, because of this. Vettel, you are brilliant, man. You are the reason I've won this race. Mad lad. He's just cost Sainz 3 seconds. Wow. And then he does it again. And this time Alonso gets in on the act. And now Alonso takes second. And they are now 10 seconds behind me. They began this lap 7 seconds behind me. And then they end that lap 11 seconds behind me. 4 seconds. So, if I did get a 4th penalty, that wouldn't have been enough. I would have missed out by... it's hovering. But we're coming around the final sector. Thank you, Alonso and Vettel, because you've battled enough with Sainz that it's cost him 4 seconds. And without those 4 seconds, I would not have this 11.7 gap. I would have had 7.7. I would have missed out by 1.3 seconds. And in the end, 2.7 as we cross the line. Thank you, Alonso and Vettel. Oh my god. I kid you not, once I saw Alonso get into second, once I heard that Alonso got into second, I was like, come on, do it for your old teammate. And he did. I was pushing so much at the end of that race. How I didn't make a mistake, I don't know. Normally I would have. Sainz got a... Oh, I put lap 30. Whoops. Lap 33. No, that's the exact same thing. There we go. So we just got under racing. But yeah. I would have missed out by 1.3 seconds. Thank you, Alonso. Thank you, Vettel. I need to pay you back sometime. I don't know how. Well, I can't pay back Vettel because he's going to retire. He's retiring at the end of the season. This is his last. This is his last game, and this is my last season on this game. So this is his last season. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Sebastian was the goat in that. He was the one that cost him 2 seconds. We didn't have... yeah, we didn't... It would have been fine if Alonso didn't cost him 2 further seconds. But Sebastian costing him 2 seconds to begin with is what made it possible. Anyway, I'm trying to find a collision between these two and I don't quite see it. Oh, there it was. I mean, Leclerc. What are you doing, bruv? Why have I just turned Russian? I mean, that's probably a terrible Russian accent as well. I know there's a gap, but your car is heading here. Bro. At least Sainz is heading onto the circuit still. You're not even alongside. That's your fault. So what's that now? We've had a collision with the Ferrari duo. That's Leclerc's fault. A collision with Magnussen and Ricciardo's fault. And collision with Perez and Gasly. Gasly and Norris. Where did Perez come from? I think it came from P and Pierre. Came from Gasly and Norris. Gasly's fault, he just turned in on Norris, expecting him to not be there. 40 minutes, that's the end of it all. I know what I'm saying in the debrief at the end. I'm just going to quickly check when I leapt practically the DRS line. Yeah, I was increasing speed, but I didn't properly go until the DRS line. What about the first restart? Yeah, I went at the DRS line as well. Because I was at lower speed, this is why Science was able to get me the first time round. Anyway, that's the end of it. I'll leave you with the sight that annoyed me the most. Where's Magnussen? There's Magnussen. Absolutely. Heart attack, heart attack. Yeah, I did not need that this morning. Thank you, Ricardo. You're a big help. You've tied it at your home Grand Prix. Hope you're happy. Can I see your face? That sounds really creepy. Oh, it's not tinted. Actually, it is. I think it is. It looks tinted. Yep, it's tinted. Okay. I'll leave you with that. Oh. Why? Magnussen. I want to get it when he jumped up. Boing. Yeah. This side. This would have made my day. The worst one since Singapore. Thank you, Ricardo. You're a great help. In all seriousness, no. Without Vettel and Alonso, I can't say this enough. Without them, I would not have won. Without Vettel, I would not have won this race. I wouldn't have built enough gap. Thank you, boys. And I'll see you in the race debrief. Here we are in Sector 2 on lap 5. Chasing down Norris then. You already know the outcome of this. But here's the onboard view of this overtake. Cut turn 12 as much as we can without wobbling, spinning the car. Did have a little bit wobble. Overtake, DRS flowing down towards the outside, turn off overtake. Nice little switchback. And I'm still smiling about this overtake to this day. Still there on the outside of turn 16, turn 14, 13. So, tried to go around the outside of turn 14. No, I've got this all mixed up. Tried to go around the outside of the penultimate corner, doesn't quite work, and we're going to keep the position of P1. Let's go run away now for the rest of the 53 laps in this race. I don't see why we can't. Well, actually,
good morning to the Monday morning debrief of the Australian Grand Prix. So, as we all know, it was a bit touch and go on whether we would actually win the race, but we did win the race, and it was not without some flaws along the way. So, why don't we have a look at them and see if we can improve upon them for the sprint race next time out in Imola. So the race result was a victory for us by 2 seconds with the penalties added. Alonso in second place and Sainz rounding off the podium in third. Our championship rivals, Hamilton finished in 9th position. Verstappen retired from the Grand Prix and Charles Leclerc had several issues which put him down in P12. Of those teammates to help for the Constructors' Championship was Perez in P9 and, like I said, Sainz in P3. Alonso's result puts him into second place in the Drivers' Championship, so he could be a threat later on if Max keeps having issues. And on that point, the championship rivals had terrible races whilst we won the race. The Drivers' Championship, we lead it with Alonso in second and Sainz in third place, just like the podium. Our rivals, Hamilton in 6th place, 42 points behind us. Verstappen in 9th place, 52 points behind us. And Charles Leclerc in 18th place, 64 points behind us. For the Constructors' Championship, the respective teammates are Perez in 12th place on 6 points and Sainz in 3rd place, like I said. Alonso is still within the projected gap. After 3 races, we expected a 24-point gap to second place, 8 points per victory, per Grand Prix. However, no championship rival is within a race victory, and Max and Charles are 2 victories away from us in the lead. On to the Constructors' Championship then, and we lead the championship on 86 points, and our rivals are Ferrari in 3rd place, 46 points behind us, and Red Bull in 5th place, 68 points behind us. Alpine are still close in the championship. However, Red Bull, our actual rivals, are over a 1-2 victory away from us. So we could have a poor race and we would still be leading. Obviously, we don't want a poor race in Imola, but I'm just saying that we don't have to worry too much, and that if we do win, we're just extending our gap even more. So, onto the lap graph of Winton then. And fairly consistent times. Stint 2 and Stint 3 were the best. Stint 4 is a little bit sloppy, improving and then slowing down every 2 laps. The first stint is a little bit sloppy as well, a bit of a snake. We would have had a good lap on lap 3, however, not passing Max immediately led to a slow lap time. However, almost completely flat lines before the stints, before each safety car, and the final stint was still brilliant, even with the steps, because they were on old tyres and they were all within the target time set at after the safety car, which was within a second of the target time that was previously before the safety car, so it's really good. On to the 8 images for the Grand Prix weekend then. Bobbi, you sent in images of your snap in practice and your overtake on Lando in the race on lap 5, I believe it was. Mark, Your two images were the race director and free wide moment between Alonso, Sainz and Vettel. Total Wolf, your bad image was specifically Alpine in the Constructors' Championship, and the qualifying results from Q1. Rosie, your strategy sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Your images were the second safety car and the first safety car. So let's get straight into it and have a look at what could have been done better. So onto your images straight away then, Bobbi. The car snapped a lot in practice and the pass on Norris was brilliant. Was what you sent with your two images, and yes, the snaps in practice were on the hard tyres. We do think the tyres could have been a little bit cold, but you're a couple laps into your stint, so it probably wasn't that. So we will have to work on the stability of the car as we progress forwards. Obviously, we can't do that in terms of performance, so we'll have to have a look at the setups, maybe crank on a little bit more downforce, maybe reduce the initial front wing that we have heading into the first round of practice, or changing the tyre pressures, all that, because it could have been a little bit of overheating from the tyres. We'll have to have a look. Unfortunately, we don't have the data from telemetry to have a look. However, I can get on board fully with your point on the overtake of Norris. It was an absolutely brilliant move. I don't think anyone can doubt that. A little feint to the inside as you came out of turn 11. With the way the track went, Norris stayed towards the inside. You went to the outside and just braked a little bit earlier than Norris did, roughly around the same point that you would normally, and you just sent Norris wide and snipped underneath and got the position. Very well done. Other than that, you could have improved on your penalties, but we'll have a deeper look at that later when we have a look at Mark's images. Speaking of, 9 track limit warnings and 3 track limit penalties, but Alonso and Vettel helped create the 9-second gap. So this is more towards you, Bobbi. You do need to work on your track limits. It would help a lot if you didn't run wide so much. We wouldn't have to worry about 9-second penalties at the end of the race. However, on that point, we will have to send a public thank you to Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel for creating the 9-second gap, which was absolutely beautiful. Without them overtaking Sainz or trying to overtake Sainz, we definitely would not have got first place in this race, and that's as much as it wouldn't be Verstappen winning. Verstappen got no points, and Charles got no points, and Lewis would not have got any more points. 8 points is 7 points is really a lot, especially in this early stage of the championship. Towards the middle becomes less so important, and then towards the end, if we're in a championship fight, it becomes more important again. But if we're not in a championship fight and we've wrapped it up, it don't matter at all, and you can just go for records. So yeah, it's really important that we build the gap at the early stage, and so we do need you to cut out on your penalties. Onto Toto, your images then. And Alpine matched our points total from this race, and in Q1 both the drivers were in the top 3 and within 2/10 of each other. So Alpine, they did match our points total this race, I believe Ocon was in 4th place, and so was able to get 30 points, and was able to get 12, and with Alonso's 18, that's 30 points for Alpine. With Bobbi, you winning the race and fastest lap, and with Lewis in 8th place, getting 4 points. That also brought our total to 30 points, and so Alpine matched us. It is at an early stage. We do not have to worry about Alpine. We do not think they're going to be rivals for long. We do not think they're going to be challenging us come the end of the season. But it would be nice to have a comfortable lead and know that we're going to stay at the top for the rest of the season. Even with the 6-point gap, it is nice that we have a large gap. At this point, obviously, if we were getting 1-2s every race with the fastest laps, we would be getting an extra 17 points per race, and so we would like 51 points ahead of our rivals at this stage of the season. However, Red Bull is clear behind that, and Ferrari is on its way to being within that as well. So we don't have to worry about anything there. In Q1, like you said, really good pace from both our drivers, and if we can keep this up even in our worst circuits, namely the circuits you retired from last season, Bobbi, Monaco, Singapore, and Azerbaijan. Obviously, Azerbaijan was a little bit touch and go. Hopefully, if you can avoid contact with some of the drivers, then you won't retire from that Grand Prix this season. But yeah, that's all I can say with Toto. On to Racengineer with the strategy. The second safety car with penalties put a victory on the threat, and the first safety car coming out 5 laps before our second stop was helpful. Was a helpful change in strategy. So yes, let's go chronologically. Let's go chronologically here. We made up for our mistakes in Bahrain. We pitted at a convenient time, and we pitted for convenient tyres. Obviously, it was much better here because it was 5 laps before our planned strategy. In Bahrain, it was roughly 10 to 20 laps before we wanted to pit. So it is always going to be better for us this time around. However, I'm sorry to have to go banging on again, Winter. Bobbi, I don't know why I keep using your last name, sorry about that. But Bobbi, it is not your fault that the safety car came out, but it is your fault that we got the penalties that did put our race victory in the threat. Now I'm not saying that you were if we didn't win the race, it would have been your fault. Obviously, first off, the safety car would have been that to say. Safety car didn't come out, we would have been fine because we had 9 seconds already, and so we would have just built the gap to presumably, if we used the gaps from the end of the race, it would have been put up to 20 seconds. However, Vettel and Alonso wouldn't have been close enough to battle with Sainz, and so it would have probably been brought somewhere around 17, 16 seconds. But yeah, it would have been really helpful if you didn't get those penalties. 1 or 2 is fine. Obviously, we'd like to keep the average across the entire season down to 1, maybe less than a half a penalty each race. But obviously, it's near on impossible to keep a clean record in the entire season. So hopefully, you've spent all your track limit tokens in this race, and we don't get any more warnings for the rest of the season. But other than that, I don't think we could have done much better. It was a really solid race. The start obviously was a bit poor, but we all know that the throttle. We all know the throttle pedal's been broke, and so we're trying to fix it. Although, if you're saying it's fine to live without it being fixed, we won't worry too much about fixing it. But we are obviously going to try and fix it, because it's always better to have it fixed than it be broke. But at the moment, the team aren't finding anything wrong with the pedal. We obviously know something's wrong with it, we just can't find out what is wrong with it. And so we can't make a solution, we can't solve the problem just yet. So we'll have to wait a little while on that one. But other than that, I can't think of anything else to say, so if we've got no questions, then we can wrap this up and start thinking about Imola. I can see no questions, so thank you to listening for the Monday morning review of the Australian Grand Prix, and I'll see you. We'll all meet up again for the Imola GP. Okay, right. This is normal me talking now, and a few things. Right. I probably juked you on Friday, making you think that my Project Ultimate video was going to be talking about EA's Connor Sport team reveal. There's more info on Monday, the 1st of May, so I'll probably be doing a video then. I want to do it all in one go, because otherwise I would have been making 3 videos. I would have been making one on Thursday, I would have been making one on Friday, and I would have been making one on Monday. I didn't have time to do one on Friday, family birthday. Crap. Didn't have time to do one on Thursday because I procrastinate a lot, and Monday is bank holiday, so I should have time to. Other than that, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I can't think of anything else to say, so goodbye.